Okay, so yesterday we did our sky and our mountains. We have a little spot to finish on our mountains because it does go behind here, so I just need a light value back there. So take your compress and just give a little bit of value right there and then smear. Okay, now we're going to fill in our hills in the middle here. So again with your compressed charcoal, very lightly fill in your hills. Make sure you go between your trees and all the way around your trees, tree trunks. You want to keep it light because remember light comes forward. Kind of let it go a little bit on its own. Little few directions, different directions. Okay, now we're going to give some texture on these two hills. Oh, yeah. So we're going to take our charcoal pencil and we're going to do some zigzags to make it look like it's kind of grass. Just some scribbling, let it cross over each other. Just to give it a little detail. It doesn't have to be little individual strands. I don't want individual strands, so I'm just scribbling. So I'm going to go in there. And I'm going to go over here and do the same thing. So I'm just kind of giving the idea that there's something there. I'm not drawing individual pieces of grass. I'm not trying to do anything important, anything that's specific. I'm just kind of randomly scribbling. Making some of them short, some of them long. Some of them grouped heavier together, some of them look a little less grouped. Now this hill goes behind this hill. So right here where we drew this line, it needs to get darker into lighter. And then smear it up into there. And then over here, the same idea, darker to lighter. And then smear up this way. Okay, so that's our hills. Now our trees. Go back to your charcoal pencil. The left side will be darker, so I'm going to do lighter on the darker on the left, lighter on the right, kind of medium in between. Darker on the left, lighter on the right. Try to get them to blend together with a medium. Now, to actually create our pine trees, they come to a point at the top, and then they start to get wider. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to kind of do some scribbling up and down, and I cross over my tree trunk, and I just kind of make them a little bit wider as I keep coming down, leaving some areas where you can see through them. I bring my scribble back up into some areas because I don't want them to be separate. So there's my first tree for the most part. Now I'm going to add in some charcoal pencil to get some darker areas in there. I don't do any smearing because I want that texture to look like pine needles. Okay, so there's my first one. Now this one overlaps. That one comes in front of it. So I'm going to start at the top again. I'm going to go over the top of my tree trunk again. Got to get wider as I keep coming down. See how I went right on top of that one? I vary my scribbles to make them different lengths. Now this one's going to go off the page, so don't leave the tree trunk as the last thing you see. Bring those all the way down to the bottom. And then again, go back with your charcoal pencil and put some darker spots in. Okay? And lastly, we're going to put one that comes in over here off to the side. So, just a partial one. So here we go. Starts to get wider as it comes down, so make sure it gets wider. Go back in with your charcoal pencil. Putting something in the corner just kind of defines that corner a little bit, helps carry your eye back around. Okay. So there's their trees. This should all be consistent coming down. I'm going to do more scribbles to look like it comes down behind the tree. So this hill comes all the way down behind here. Okay, there you go. Now, next thing I'm going to do is this rock. To make the rock pop forward, we need to do a little bit of a shadow behind. So I'm going to take my compressed, and I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. I don't want to go too dark. Just going to make it a little bit darker back there. The trees are already darker, so I'm not going to go over the tops of those. Now, I have some charcoal on my fingers, and I can get a little bit more on my fingers off the compressed, and I'm just going to lightly smear because I want to keep this rock light so that it comes forward. Remember, light comes forward. Okay? Now, rocks have jagged sides and smooth sides all kind of randomly in there. There's no specific side that has to be top or side. So we're going to make some tops and sides and jagged lines in there. So we're going to take our compressed, and off of this curve right here, it's going to come down and out into there. Kind of makes kind of a side right there. Okay? And then I'm going to do, not quite into the corner, but pretty close to the corner there. I'm going to do a shape in here. Then I'm going to take my charcoal pencil. We're going to do some zigzags in there to make it look like it's got some sharp edges. So I start here, and I'm going to put one here. I'm going to start about here. Go in there. Off of this piece, we're going to go kind of up into there. I'm going to put one coming off of here. It kind of goes back that way. And I'm going to have one that comes down there and down there. Now I can decide what's my top, which will be lighter, and what's my bottom, which will be darker, or side. So this is going to be a side. So I'm going to fill this in a little bit with a little bit darker value, so it goes down to the side. This sits on top. Okay? Then I'm going to go above this one. Make it look like it gets kind of blends into there a little bit. So there's a top and there's a side. I'm going to go off of this one and up into here a little bit. I'm going to go above this one a little bit. And right in here, I want to make that look like it comes down into the side there. And then I'm just going to add just a little bit of blurring right back here, just a little more charcoal back there. And then I take my eraser, get a clean spot, and I make sure this top is nice and white, or as white as I can get it. Same with this top right here. And there is your charcoal drawing of some mountains in the background, hills in the middle ground, trees and rock in the foreground. And lastly, I'm going to sign this. You want to make your signature part of your drawing. So I'm just going to do my initials down here by my tree, and I'm just going to make them really small and so they don't stand out too much.